Howdy ho, comic nerds. It is Blastin Stashin. Thank you for coming by. Mike's here. Mike got shocked there. He was looking at his nudie mags probably before going on the show, trying to get a little excited.
I was.
Hey, we do appreciate you taking your hand in your pants and joining us tonight, Mike. So I think the audience will too. They don't want to see that. We don't want to need to get banned from YouTube. What we do here is we buy the books that come out during the week. We give them a read, and we blast the books we hate and stash the books we like. I seem like after 3 years or 4 years, I would know the intro, but I don't. And we do have a bracket. We've been doing a bracket and kind of comparing books and trying to get a winner of the week, and maybe we'll do something like maybe we'll do the winner of the year too. That'd be kind of cool to do. Be able to look at all the winners we had over the whole year and go back and compare them and see who that was. But thinking about the whole year, we have our stashies coming up next month, or is it going to be, I think maybe the last week of December, first week of January. We'll get that date nailed down, but that's where we look at everything that came out for the year, and we talk about our favorites, our favorite artist, favorite writer, favorite book over the year, favorite Funko line, all that fun stuff.
Yes, I took Mike? That one out, actually. We took the favorite Funko series out.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Only because I'm the only one that really collects them.
Yeah, I don't buy much anymore.
I'll mention my favorite, but
yeah.
Then I changed the Pop pickup of the year to Pop/collectible of the year. So
okay. Yeah, because I only picked a handful up.
Dave.
I know. Oh, got that beer burping in on me. Before we jump into the books of the week, though, did everybody get a chance to watch Mandalorian today?
Not today. Watched last week.
I know Mike watched it. I watched it. I don't want to go into spoilers with it because it was one of those episodes. Of course, it was the series season finale. Only 8 episodes, which is a real bummer. You'll want to see those go on for at least 16, but we'll take what we can get. But I tell you what, that reveal though, I had goosebumps, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is so. I thought it was flat out awesome.
Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. Welcome to live chat.
Sorry, I don't know why it's doing that. That's so weird.
Wow. Who's that?
Sometimes I don't want to read things. I just have it play.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The community guidelines.
Okay, I'm like, what the hell, dude? Did we get caught on something already? We're not showing any trailers, so we shouldn't be getting dinged or anything.
Goddamn, the rat is. You talking about the Mandalorian? The rat's got you pinged.
No, yeah, probably that's what it was. Mandalorian probably comes up in some chat room somewhere. They're talking about it. Better make sure they're not violating our copyrights. But what do you think of Mandalorian season finale, Mike?
Oh my God! Thank you, everyone involved with this series, for making Star Wars relevant again. I'm not going to spoil it either, but make sure you guys watch to the end. Wait for the credits to roll, and then watch the deleted scene, or not the deleted scene, the end credit scene, post credit scene, whatever. And that's just the icing on the cake right there.
Ooh, sounds exciting.
Definitely does.
Strong candidate for show of the year. I think for me, for the second year in a row.
Oh yeah, I think it's up there definitely for me as well.
Killed it.
Yeah, I'm in a Discord chat with Gen X Grownups, and they were talking about Mandalorian a little bit, and I was saying to this show, because I've always been a Star Wars fan, but not like this, like diehard. I know all the planets. I know I know where this timeline fits in here. I don't know all of that. I've just been a general fan of it. But I tell you what, Mandalorian has really pushed it to where I'm like, dude, I want to know more about everything, and I think that's what's great about this show. It really wants to make people jump into the universe a little bit more.
Not that it has anything to do with it. You need to read the Marvel, the Star Wars and the Darth Vader book. Get caught up on those because they're really good as well.
I found myself doing a bunch of research on the Mandalorian vibration blade that they had in season 1 where they did the fight in the forge, and I did some research on the dark saber And it's really cool because you don't have to like dive deep into stuff. There's tons of videos and just readable material out there on these things, what they are, where they come from, and the whole nine. I think I like the stuff in Star Wars.
Double S said, does anybody know the history of the dark saber? I don't know if he's asking or if he's saying he knows and he wants to kick that information out there, but they do talk quite a bit about the history of it in this season finale, to more of the lore behind it and everything else. So I think that's pretty cool too. But overall, man, it just sucks it's over, and I want more. I know Disney just released a whole bunch of information on what the shows they're putting out. And so looking forward to all of those potentially too. Oh, Double S says he does know. He's in the know. We need to have a little the more you know, little rainbow going across.
Also,
for
a big
S.
shout out to the comic book G Spot. He's back in here, and Tapia's Family Unlimited Comics. Did I say it? Tapia? Tilapia?
I don't think we've ever gotten that right, and I feel bad.
I like good tilapia.
Whatever. You're gonna leave. We're gonna have -1 sub tonight. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. No, seriously, it's great that you guys are here. Get your comic books out because we're going to be running it through the brackets tonight. Let us know what you thought about the comics that you read this week and what should we be reading and not reading. That's the most important thing. And most importantly, what did you think of it?
Yeah, so definitely, if we're going through, you don't have to raise your hand. Just chime in and say, hey, that book sucked. You guys are wrong. Or, hey, that book was great. What are you guys thinking? You guys smoking crack or what? Yeah. So here is the bracket. So I really try to put like books with like books, like I said last week. Indies with indies, DC with DC, or some comparable title. So this week at the number 1 and 2 slot, we have We Live number 3 and Post Americana. Those are both post-apocalyptic books. That's why I put those two together. We Live number 3 has been pretty high, I think, on everybody's chart. As in we've liked it quite a bit. Anybody else pick up We Live number 3 this week? Mike, you didn't either? Oh, you didn't? Oh, my goodness. So
all by yourself.
All by myself. We do karaoke, too, on Saturday nights. So
that's only in Chicago.
I didn't even do. I stayed. That was really where Chicago. I was so ready just to go out and finally kind of get out of my, get a little more comfortable going out. And then Catherine got sick, and so I ended up staying home.
You did it for the cat.
I did it for the cat. I didn't want her there by herself. So We Live number 3. So this gives a backstory on kind of what's happening in this universe. We know that aliens have sent down these wrist things to certain people, or maybe you're able to collect it. You're chosen. You get to go up with these aliens, and these kids are trying to get to this beacon so they can go up to the aliens and get off Earth. But we find a little more about these zombies and the kind of people throughout, and some kind of virus, and they were trying to treat it. And they were using pig blood in order to push off the virus. That worked for a little bit, but then they found out too the human blood actually does it, and it keeps some of their mental capabilities, so they're able to talk and verbalize. Mike picked up Shit Show by Scott Comics. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit. And so we find out a little more about them, and then the kids were captured at the end of the last issue. They were getting ready to strap down. The guy was going to rip her heart out to use her to be able to stay on a little bit longer. But they get saved by that girl in that mech suit and that gorilla-looking thing, and then they end up moving on. They're getting to the beacon. As soon as they get to the beacon, they're kind of looking down the hill and see where they're supposed to catch this train or this transport. And we find a whole bunch of religious people down there saying that they are false prophets. These people should not be wearing these. We should not be following these people. And they're executing all these kids that have this bracelet on. And that's how the issue ends. So those kids are looking down the hill like, oh, shit, that's our transport. That's where we're supposed to get out this place. But they're murdering people down there that are having these bracelets. So it's still pretty good. I'm still digging it. The colors seem like they're not as vibrant as it was in that first issue, but it's still pretty colorful. It's still going along pretty good. It's kind of like I think you said it's like that one book from Image with the boy with the storm and trying to get away from his dad.
Oh, Middle West.
Yeah, kind of has that Middle West kind of vibe.
Kind of like that in there in the first issue.
Yeah. So I think it's definitely a stash still for me. I know all three of us picked up Post Americana, right?
Post Americana.
Well, Joe, you want to talk about Post Americana?
No, I'm kind of scared to, but we'll hit it. Okay.
Hit it.
Post Americana. This was great, to my surprise, actually. I thought for sure this was going to be another Mary Sue story, and it can still turn out that way. But regardless, I really like this. I like the use of dialogue in it. They keep using like awkward phrases, but they're so detached from what we are now, so far into the future, that people don't talk normally. And I'll give you a better example in a second. So basically what you have in here is you have post-apocalyptic camps, tribes, if you will, of different human races. Most of them are cannibals. They're very nostalgic and like porn for the most case. It's weird. And then you have like this kind of offshoot that's been living in a mountain forever where like rich people lived. And then one guy named himself president. He's kind of a dictator. So he's like trying to run the show there, trying to take over the world. He's got weapons, the whole 9 yards. Well, of course, there's a fraction in there that doesn't exactly get away with or like this idea. They escape and crash land into the tribes where they don't have a whole lot of information about everything. They're kind of picking it up as they go. And it's a shit show. It's bad. Somebody ends up dying. Somebody gets threatened to get eaten. And our heroine kind of saves this guy. And they got to try to figure out, how to get distorted technology and how to save these people and keep these douchebags from attacking. The best way to describe this movie, it's kind of like if you took Mad Max and Idiocracy and you kind of mesh them together. Great movie, Idiocracy. I call that the future documentary of America. And you mesh them together, and it's just brilliantly done. Like, people try to use slang in it, like capiche, and they use it the most awkward way. At first, I thought maybe the writer just didn't get, dialogue, but then I realized, oh, no, I see what they're doing. That's very smart. So, all in all, this was a huge stash for me. I absolutely enjoyed this. We'll see where it goes.
Mike, you keep disappearing on us.
He talked too long. He gets bored.
Who let the dogs out? Mike did. Post Americana, Mike, what'd you think of that one?
Oh boy, this is a big keeping pile of shit. Now, there's a guy with a couple guys with shit being rammed up their ass. There's an old dude with Iron Man armor. Fucking chick with bad acne. Plus the art's fucking horrible. This is a blast. I stopped reading it.
It's funny because I was talking to Steve and Jamie about this book, and Jamie, they're at Rogue City Comics. They read this book, and she said she didn't even make it to the staples of the book. She just had to put it down. She did not like it at all. The art really threw it off for her too.
Yeah.
So she was interested to see what we thought of it. I didn't notice it when you said the guys were taking it up the butt, and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And then I flipped to the one
background.
like, oh crap! Okay, now I see it. Yeah. I did like the mutated chickens, and they pecked that guy pretty much clean. He's like, "Dude, we're gonna be eating good tonight," and all of a sudden they just freaking attack him, and then wipe him out. Overall, as it goes, it's right in the middle for me. It's not a blast. It's not a stash. It's a good post-apocalyptic tale. I like those. So I'm probably going to be picking up issue 2 on that. So I guess it's going to be between for me, because I'm the only one that read We Live and this one. What goes forward with this? I'm gonna say this is going to go forward because I definitely want to know more about this story. I do
liked it too.
So we're going to move forward with.
You read them both. Which one did you like the best out of the two?
Well, which one I like the best, or which one I want to read? Make sure I pick up the next issue on. Oh man, I think
that would be the best one.
Yeah, you're right. Then I'm probably going to go with. I hate to do it to you, Joe. I don't want to move We Live forward when I thought it was a better book.
Then that's what moves forward, dude. They're just comic books.
I just don't want you getting offended and getting all like, oh well, I'm not going to do this show anymore. Screw you guys.
Oh yeah, because that's how I act.
Yeah.
I think you forget I got the passwords. I'll come on anytime I want.
No, that's right, you do. Shit. What about Death Metal #6, Mike? I know you read that, right, Mike?
Yes.
Have you been kind of lost? Well, I know in the past you said you've been kind of like, what the hell's going on with this book?
This one was okay. I grabbed this awesome Batasaurus Rex or whatever the fuck his name is covered. The Gorilla cover. What happens in this book? I don't know. That's why I took notes. If I could find my notes, I read so many goddamn books. So yeah, this one's the second to last issue. All the heroes are fighting. Lobo and Wonder Woman are looking for the Forge of the Worlds. For some reason, the Batman Who Laughs and Perpetua are still going at it. He ends up beating her. Sergeant Rock's narrating the whole thing. I think all the one shots kind of threw me off from this title, but I'm stashing this one. I want to see how it ends, and moving on to what is it, Brave New World or whatever the fuck DC's doing. What is it called?
Stunning and Brave. Stunning and Brave.
Yeah. This is one of those books, just like with the other dark metal stuff that came out a couple years ago. For me personally, I have to read this a couple times in order to grasp everything that's going on, and I still don't necessarily grasp everything that's going on. But I did like Sergeant Rock's narration throughout it, talking about prayer before battle, prayer during battle, prayer after battle, and how different people pray when they do, and they're talking about going into this big battle. And I thought that was kind of a cool narration going into it, and the outro of it. Capullo's art is awesome. It's always awesome. He's not one of my favorite artists, but he's a good, consistent, strong artist, and so he's always really good at telling the story that way. So that's always awesome too. I do like Starro in this thing too, where he's talking about fucking let's go, man. He's like leading the charge, saying, let's do it.
Jarro.
That's right. It's Jarro. That's right. But yeah, so we're closing in on this last battle, and everybody's starting to remember that's what they needed that forge for, to build that forge, so everybody could remember the past, to be able to essentially maybe join together a little bit better to understand how they're going to move forward. So, but overall, it's been a weird book, but it's been consistently pretty good though. As an alternate timeline to DC, so it's a stash for me too. What about you, Joe?
I picked up this 1 in 25 variant because I'm collecting the band covers, and that's awesome. With little Even Robin playing the fiddle. The Devil Went Down to Georgia is all I can think of reading.
Wow.
And it's just great. So yeah, epic issue. This was really good. And then as I'm reading it, I kept thinking, I thought I hated this series. What is going on? Why am I? And then I realized it's all the tie-ins. The tie-ins, the one-shots, they were all just, And then the main vein, which wasn't that many issues. It's only 6 issues. They've had double that in tie-ins and one-shots for this. And that's where I got the confusion from. So yeah, this was awesome. Sergeant Rock's narration through the whole thing about prayer, I was just like, oh wow, that's different type of narration. We're not really used to this kind of narration, staying on subject, not really talking about what's going on in the book, but it is battle related. Even his commentary over, prayer was all based around combat before, after, the whole 9 yards. I loved that. I thought it was smart writing. Didn't get all religious or preachy. It just talked about a natural thing that happens. The epic battle where they thought they were winning and everything was going to be better and they're putting everything away. And then in true DC fashion, it's like, no, here's the real problem. The subconscious of the one who laughs can create another entire different army that looks kind of tough and badass. And I'm like, yeah, let's read some more of this. And that whole hope thing that, because Wonder Woman's always represented hope, right? In the little trinity of superheroes. She comes rising out of the ground like Jesus out of the grave, about to save everybody with hope. And I was just like, normally I'd be like, oh, that's kind of tropey. And this, I don't know, it made sense in this story. And I really thought it was cool. Like, I was like, okay, yeah, let's do this. I'm on board with this. I feel kind of bad that I got some of the tie-ins and stuff now, because as far as I'm concerned, I just wasted my money because it wasn't really relevant to this. And that's where I should have stayed with.
Yeah, I think there are twice as many tie-ins as there are as the regular storyline. And most of the tie-ins have been pretty crap, too.
Yeah.
Double S said, same here, Huey. I had to read it twice and get it, and now I kind of get it. DC is trying to put all their continuity together for DC's future state. Is this going to actually tie into DC's future state?
Something's going to happen next issue.
Okay.
I think that's going to...
So the other book on that bracket is Teen Titans special, the winter special, Endless Winter tie-in to that. I'm not reading any of the Endless Winter stuff, so I have no clue to what's going on. I picked it up because it's Teen Titans. I'm a big fan of Teen Titans, so I picked it up. But what is that? Is that just the cover B?
No, that was the Justice League Endless Winter.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Those are the two that kind of went together, but yeah.
Justice League is part 5. Teen Titans is part 6. And
Right.
Yeah. So I got that. I was a little lost. I'm like, what the heck is going on? Okay, I can kind of follow, okay, Teen Titans are now helping a lot of people who are stranded or trapped, and so they're at the Teen Titan Tower, and they're doing a lot of babysitting, and they were kind of like, what the hell is this? We're supposed to be fighting crime and bad guys, and we're out here babysitting. And then we have Beast Boy and Wonder Woman's daughter. Is it daughter?
Sister,
Diana maybe.
Troy or whatever.
Diane Troy.
Yeah, two of the Titans. They come in, and there's people trapped on Brooklyn Bridge, so they go out to try to save them. We get a first appearance of a new character with powers, with ice powers. We don't know really a whole lot who she is, other than she is
Black Ice.
Is she Black Ice? Is that her? Well, they never say her name in there.
I'm assuming that's.
I'm assuming it's Black Ice. Her name is Summer something, which is weird because her name's Summer, but she has freezing
Summer loving had me a blast.
Oh no.
Happens.
It looks like she is Muslim too, so she has the head wrap. I don't know what it's called.
The head wrap.
Head.
Joe.
Joe, what are you laughing at there, Joe?
No, man, it's just the holidays. I'm filled with joy.
Is that what it is? You smart ass. But we end up finding out, they save her from the bridge, but they end up going to Themyscira, Wonder Woman's island, to get help, and they end up getting trapped there too. So
you read this book?
I did. You threw me off because I said when I was talking about her head wrap thing, and I don't know what it's called, so I got thrown off.
Eminem. He's the head wrapper.
No. Smart ass. It's a blast just because I don't know what's going on in the rest of the story. Michael, why don't you tell us what's really going on here, since I can't apparently do it quickly.
So screw all the Teen Titans stuff, and screw all these tie-ins. What each one of these tie-ins has at the beginning is more origin stuff of the Frost King. I don't think it's in this book, because since this is part 6 and part 4 takes place in Aquaman, but we learned that Black Adam has his role in the whole thing is. He basically puts his family, the Ice Kings or Black King or Ice Black King, Black Ice King or whatever, the Ice Cream Man, his family in front of him, and so. But this was a stash. I like the Teen Titans, so. But I think what's the other book? Death Metal moves on in this bracket.
Yeah, I'm thinking Death Metal does. Figuring, I didn't read it or anything.
Death Metal.
Yeah, Legion of Comics said the flashback scenes have definitely been the coolest part for me.
That actually happens in the Justice League story. But yeah, definitely cool stuff.
So, Death Metal number 6, moving on in that bracket. And we got Symbiote Spider-Man number 2, I think.
Mm-hmm.
What's that going up against?
Wolverine, black, white, and red. I didn't read Symbiote Spider-Man. I don't know if Joe did either. You did?
I did.
Okay. Did you read Wolverine?
Do you want me to start?
No, Mike's supposed to be going with Symbiote. No, wait.
It don't matter.
Whatever.
Right. Hit it. Review it, baby.
So, continuing on from the last issue, we got Spidey and the Black Knight teaming up. Funny thing happens at the Daily Bugle. J. Jonah Jameson fires Neil deGrasse Tyson. If you know, you know. If you don't worry about it. Ned Leeds, who bonded with one of them shadow creatures, is on his way to the Bugle to kill J. Jonah. Of course, Spider-Man intervenes, saves him. Merlin,
Skeet.
Merlin informs the Black Knight that his sword, the Ebony Blade, is pretty much the only thing that could hurt Null, and so he's probably gonna have a big impact in the King in Black stuff. Merlin wasn't real. It was Mr. E or whatever the hell his name is. He stabs the Black Knight in the chest, and when that happens, old Rocket and Kang come through and swoop him away for issue number 3. This is pretty good. I enjoyed it. It's a stash.
What about you for number 2, Joe?
Yeah, I like this. I dug this. I've always been a Black Knight fan. I like Black Knight, swordsmen, and those kind of characters. And this just was awesome. I love the fact that we're using the Ebony Blade in this as well as one of the things that can actually hurt Null, because now we know what the device is, right? Because he was all powerful, all everything, all the tie-in, show him just whipping up on everybody. So now we know that there is somewhat of a hope, but it looks like the bad guys have it, because Merlin, as Spectacular Spider Grandpa was saying, it's not Merlin. It's an imposter. It's like this shadow type symbiote that is an imposter. So that's why he stabbed the Black Knight, which the Black Knight actually caught at like the last second. I'm really digging this whole Kang and Rocket thing hanging out too. This is going to be one of those hard ones. Is the mainline story Null, right? It's a good story in itself, and we know that everything's going to be tied into it. This one's, and I think some of the tie-ins are going to be kind of important to this story run because it's such a big event. So this is going to be a little hard to choose from. But this book itself, I really liked it. So pretty much my tie-ins are going to include anything Scotty Young, because that's what my wife tells me to get, and I listen well. And anything with Black Knight and Kang and Rocket in it. I think that's where your main stories are going to be that are probably going to be the most relevant.
Okay, the other book on that bracket is Wolverine Black, White, and Red. You read that, Joe?
No.
No, Mike, you didn't read it? Like I got one stash up against two stashes, so it's not like Symbiote Spider-Man's going to move forward. But yeah, it is. There are 3 stories in this one. If you read the first one, it's kind of like little tiny stories in between other story arcs or stuff going on. First story is classic Sabretooth versus Wolverine fight in the middle of the snowy forest. He's trying to find Wolverine trying to find a professor that is working on a cure to the mutant gene to be able to cure people. Sabretooth has been paid to go kill him, and the fight ensues of that. Now, black and white comics work on some levels if you have enough shading and all that stuff. Some of them don't. This is one that was really hard to read what was going on in the whole story.
That's why I don't read black and white comics.
So that one, the art was okay, but just the black. We need to have a little more contrast with that red in there to really make you be able to read what was going on. The second story called Seeing Red. It's about Wolverine and Arcade from the old X-Men books. He drugs Wolverine, captures him, puts him into a game where he's trying to save this kid from the restaurant he goes to. Anytime he kills one of the robots trying to get to the kid, the water level rises, or the maybe lava or whatever rises, and it's going to kill the kid. So whatever robot that Wolverine kills trying to get up to him. So now he's trying to be able to get past these robots without killing them, without potentially killing this kid.
That was my favorite game as a kid.
What?
That was your favorite game? The black and white work better here because it's far clearer. It's just a lot more contrast with it. And then the last story has to do with Patch in
Singapore.
Yeah. Yep.
That's anytime he's Patch, he's in Singapore.
And so there's a lot more red contrast in here with this one, so the art's pretty good there. But overall, I mean, if you're a Wolverine fan, definitely pick it up. It's kind of cool little stories here and there. But again, too, the art has got to be able to have that contrast in order to follow what's going on in that story. But overall, it's a stash for me. But we got 2 stashes for Symbiote Spider-Man, so looks like that is moving forward for that week.
Legion of Comics says his top picks of the week are split between We Live 3 and We Only Find Them When They're Dead, number 4. I do have We Don't Find Them Till They're Dead, number 4. I haven't read it yet. I heard it wasn't very good, so I don't know. Haven't read it. That's
next ones are oh no, there it is. Immortal Hulk number 41 and Hulk One Shot, the not Dark Knight, the whatever tie-in with that. Did you read Immortal Hulk 41, Joe?
Which one was that? Yes.
Go ahead and give us that one.
I liked this, and I didn't like it because of the fact that it was a comic book. Like this could have been something else, and I would have still enjoyed it, I guess, because it's one of those, and everybody knows I love a good moral message. Even though I'm villainous deep down in my cold black heart, I like stories that have a little bit of a moral to them. And this one definitely did. So in this one, we get Thing and the Immortal Hulk, and we're thinking there's going to be another battle. The problem is Immortal Hulk in this one, he's the childlike one. He's basically a kid. So he's not as strong as the other Hulks or anything like that. And, Thing squares up on him, not understanding, not listening what's going on. Typical trope in comic books. There's a misunderstanding that leads to a fight. So they're fighting it out. Joe Fixit breaks out of nowhere as he catches a punch in his kind of human state from the Thing. And it was like, it's the child. You're beating up on the kid. And this, like, the artwork was really good because it really showed, even for Thing being like rocks and everything, it really showed that emotional moment where he got that. And I was like, oh, wow, that's pretty powerful. I'm really kind of digging this. And as you go through, one of the smartest things I've ever saw in there, if you don't know, the Thing is Jewish. If you haven't figured that out from all of his other things. And I like how they explained how he kind of explained away why he was able to have a bar mitzvah, because that usually happens at the age of 13, 14, depending on, the year or the date you were born. And because it was 13 years since he's been changed into the rock and he kind of reclaimed his faith, they allowed him to have a bar mitzvah. I love the fact that it was actually explained what somebody is reading during a bar mitzvah. And it's actually the story of Job. Very typical in most bar mitzvahs to actually read the book of Job in there because of the moral message in it. Not so much being tested, but just the moral conflict that somebody has to go through is very much heightened in the Torah more than anything else. I love the fact that was explained. Beautiful. And how he kind of took that message and used that in this particular book, in his particular situation that he's in now. I thought was really smart too. Of course, he's going to feed and clothe them because that's what you should do. That's kind of the whole thing there. And then allowed him to escape, kind of holding everybody else off so he can go do what he's got to do. I thought that was great. I thought it was ingenious. You got a little bit of your action. You got a little bit of a moral message and maybe even a little bit of realism in it. And I thought that was ingenious. Definitely a stash for me.
Immortal Hulk's been one of those ones that's kind of like high, low, high, low, high, low. And this was very much a mediocre issue for me. I do like the whole, most time with Thing and Hulk, it's just flat out brawling. But this one, there was like, whoa, wait a minute, a little switch, like you said, Thing realized what it was going on. And he backpedaled and said, okay, I didn't realize that there are different types of Hulks. So he was just thinking, hey, this is just the destructive Hulk. I need to go bring it at full bore in order to stop him. But again, too, he was like, man, he's awful weak. He's not a normal Hulk here. I'm he's laying his best shots on me. It's not even hurting me. But I do like that too. I don't know a lot about the Jewish religion, stuff like that, but I thought that was kind of interesting to have that aspect in there as well. Sitting down over a Coney hot dog and eating it. But although I think, aren't you against a lot of books that have them sitting down eating and drinking and talking?
So yeah, but you'll notice that only. But my problem is when you're sitting and drinking, and it takes up to like 10 panels. We get it. You're having a meal, right? And this one, like, he ate it, and it was almost kind of like used as a comic relief in it, right? The way he was eating it and everything on it when he talked about it. They didn't have an entire discussion while he's sitting there having coffee about a boring subject. I thought they were actually talking about something meaningful, and I found that to be the most the focus there. So that was pretty cool. But normally, when they're just sitting around.
Legion of Comics love the diner talk with Joe and Ben. Did you go upstairs or downstairs? Ain't something you can help with.
Dave?
And then Double S, what kind of brew do you have in your cup this week, Joe?
This week I have Protocol Porter. It's a colonial wet recipe from Ale Works. It's a delicious blend of earthy goodness.
What were you going to say, Mike?
Do you like upstairs or downstairs better?
Kind of depends.
Mike's getting bored. Let him talk about Immortal Hulk. You can tell he's
talk about that Immortal Hulk tie-in. I'm just drinking plain old Coors over here.
Immortal Hulk, King in Black tie-in, one shot. No words in this book, so it's right up my alley.
No sounding out the big words.
No sounding out the big words. Props to the writer for telling a halfway decent story without using any words. I haven't been reading it. I dropped off of the regular Immortal Hulk issues ago, so I don't know why he's in this weird state, but his facial features, the way he's drawn, I'll show you an example. He's just funny. But yeah, this was a stash. I liked it. No words. It's a little Christmassy. Good. This one right here.
Wow, dude, he looks like oh my god,
it's the baby Hulk.
Maybe.
Well, it is because this happened, and then this happened.
Okay.
Joe Fixit walks away, changes back into the Baby Hulk character, and then this story takes place.
Okay. What did you think of it? Was that a blast or stash for you, Mike?
That was a stash. I enjoyed it.
Stash. And Happy
Nice
Hulk.
picture. Happy Hulk
is a stash. What about you, Joe? What did you think of that Immortal Hulk tie-in?
This was good. I liked, because there was no words and it was a silent issue. I love the fact that somebody had the foresight to say, okay, we're dealing with the Baby Hulk in here. We need to make it look like a child because we're not using words. I thought that was smart. I love the fact that the symbiotes tried to fight him. I thought it was weird that the cops would just show up and be like, oh, look, it's Hulk. Shoot him. Bow. I like finding the gift on the ground. Joe Fixit realizing that Baby Hulk is a child and he should have a Christmas. So he lets him come back out, if you will, while he's in the toy department of a mall. I thought it was very smart the way Joe Fixit fixed the symbiotes that were chasing him with using the sound and the speaker systems. I thought it was good all around. But if I had to choose, like I have to in the brackets, I got to go with the Immortal Hulk 41.
And you would be that deciding vote on that too. So that's moving up in that bracket there. And then we have Black Cat and Catwoman, the fierce felines from either the big two. Let's go with Black Cat first. Somebody, Mike or Joe, you want to start with Black Cat?
Yeah, I just talked. Go ahead, Mike.
Where is the Black Cat?
Where do I put the penis?
What?
Go ahead, Mike. You're looking at your notes. I figured you had a Birds and the Bees book there, trying to figure it out.
There we go. So, of course, again, this is a King in Black tie-in. This is a King in Black tie-in done right. Read at the beginning, Black Cat and her crew are robbing some bad guys that are getting away in the van. And she's driving the Spider-Mobile, or her crew is, that she stole from Spider-Man, which I thought was a little interesting little throw in there. They're in some underground tunnels under the city, and all of a sudden a one of the symbiote dragons falls through and ruins her plans. So she's all pissed off. She goes up above and sees what was going on, all the madness, everything destroyed. Bumps into Captain America. Captain America knows the heroes are failing, and everyone's Sentry destroyed. Doctor Strange is destroyed. Captain America basically gives the Black Cat one mission because he knows she could get around, and she gets around. Yeah.
If you didn't say that, I was gonna.
The dirty old kitty.
And we find out towards the end of the issue that her mission is to go steal back Doctor Strange from Null, I guess. I thought this was pretty good. I loved it. The art was decent. It's a stash.
Wow. How about you, Joe?
So, yeah, I picked it up. Normally not a read of mine. But Scotty Young. Mama wants her Scotty Young. Mama gets her Scotty Young. And if you buy a comic book, you read a comic book. So I got it. And I pleasantly surprised by this. I really like this. I love the fact that Catwoman used a term that's used in Australia called toe cutters. I thought that was interesting. It's a term I've heard like maybe twice in my entire life. Basically, a thief that steals from thieves. I liked the whole, oh yeah, who messed up my job? I'm going to go find out. Come to find out, it's a problem that's slightly larger than her. I love the fact that she immediately connected with Captain America in it, and Captain America's out there doing his thing, being a leader, motivating, directing, doing the best he can out there. And she's like genuinely impressed with this, or I don't know if genuinely is the right word, but she's impressed with this. She even says so in the book. So I was like, okay, all right, cool. Coates is not writing this. Awesome. Yeah. Here's my little stab at coats. I got to do it once a week. And then to watch her actually get affected when Doctor Strange got taken, because her and Doctor Strange had a run-in in the Spider-Man story there. And immediately, like, she realizes, I love this too, she realizes that all this is too large. I need to back up. So Cap gives her a mission because he knows she can get away because that's her thing. She puts her team together, starts formulating a plan, and they're going to go get Doctor Strange back. Who knows, maybe a couple other superheroes in the process. However, not a Black Cat reader normally, so I won't be picking up any more of this, but I am super happy that I picked this one up. It was really good. I enjoyed it. Stash.
Wow, Black Cat stashed by 2 of you guys, which is odd because usually that's a pretty throwaway book. How many Black Cats #1s have we had this past 2 years? Quite a few.
Yeah.
I read the other cat book, Catwoman #28. The main reason I bought it was for the Jenny Frison cover, but I figured Mike.
It's Jenny Frison?
I think so, yeah.
That's my girlfriend.
That's your cover?
That's my girlfriend.
Oh, is it really? Yeah, well, shoot high, Mike. But I did give it a read. I haven't read Catwoman in quite some time. I did go through it. There's this mob team coming into Catwoman's neighborhood, planning on killing her and all her crew. But she's got her crew there that essentially the kids, they call them the Strays. They live in that neighborhood, and they're going to go up against this mob and try to defeat them while she's going to try to take care of this lady who's bringing drugs into the dock, saying, hey, this is my area. You're not going to do that. Huh?
Baltimore.
Inner Harbor.
First appearance of the Strays, I guess, if you want to call it a first appearance. Other than that, though, it's a blast. It's a Jenny Frison cover. That's the only thing it's got going for it.
Hey, Southern Comic Geek swung in here. Hey, great couple of shows this week, man. He's really been popping out some stuff. Looking sharp, too, with that tie. Nice. I work from home now, so I don't wear suits and ties much. So I'm jealous.
Let me go into since we're going to go ahead and move Black Cat forward, since 2 of you guys like that this week. There we go. Kick-Ass Once and Future. Mike, you want to give us a Kick-Ass?
Yeah. When I can find it. Why am I not finding things today?
I don't know. I'm not at your house. I don't live there.
So, Kick-Ass versus Hit Girl #2. Basically, Hit Girl's in town in Kick-Ass. This ain't the Kick-Ass from the movies and the original Kick-Ass. This is a new Kick-Ass. She's like, I don't want to say middle-aged, but she's older. She has 2 kids, trying to support her family and everything she does.
That's middle-aged stripper.
Yes, she's a middle-aged stripper
named Autumn.
But Hit Girl's basically looking for her, wants to know why she's wearing her friend's costume, and that's basically it. I like Kick-Ass. I like Hit Girl. So this is a stash. It's bloody, it's violent.
What about Once and Future, Joe?
Yeah, I like Once and Future. I'm in and off of this so often now. It feels like a yo-yo, but this particular issue I did like, but I wanted more from it. So in the last issue, we get the Green Knight. If you don't know who the Green Knight is, again, the whole play on this is to take literary figures from history and kind of throw them in today's world through using King Arthur, the evil King Arthur from literature, not the good one you see in the movies. And in this one, we were introduced with the Green Knight. And even scholars today of literary reading still argue what was the Green Knight in these particular in literature. Like, was he evil? Was he good? It goes back and forth. In this one, it's a plot device. because he's in and out of the story so quickly that it was actually kind of because they could have done so much more with it. But don't you worry, good old Granny Goodness in here. Granny did probably some of the most creepiest, cringeworthy, delicious, talking somebody into death thing I have ever seen in my life. She literally sat there and talked to a racist English guy who was dying to get information from him. And right up off the bat, the guy says, "I'm dying." She goes, "Yeah, I know. You want a cigarette?" And he's like, "I don't smoke." And she's like, "Yeah, you're right. It's probably bad for you." Right? That's the guy's dying. Also says something to the guy's like, "Well, what happens when you're dying? You go to heaven, you go to hell. You're a racist. You're probably going to go to hell." Like just blunt, candid to him, and then all of a sudden she gets kind of nice and talks him down into his sweet sleep to get some information.
Skeet.
Sleep, sweet, not skeet. We'll get to skeet in a minute, but and that's what saved this issue for me. And we also find out that we're coming to a climactic moment where something big's about to happen. I think the armies of King Arthur are about to invade England. That's what at least it appeared to be at the end of this. So I'm still on board with Once and Future, just because of Granny talking people to death.
So that's a struggle. So we got one stash there and a stash on Kick-Ass too. So we'll leave that up to the audience. Kick-Ass or Once and Future. Anybody read those? You'll decide what.
I know we got a couple fans of Once and Future in the chat. So
yeah. This book's brought to you by Amazing Spider-Man, the Book of Colors and Days of the Week. This book was given to me. A lot of double entendres in here, that's for sure. Yeah. Said Yahoo couldn't mix up anymore. Ride with web juice all over his hands. I'm serious. And then the other one is by the fourth day, Thursday, Spider-Man needed to refill his web squirter. So I don't know what is going on in this story and what we're trying to teach kids here.
Usually a sandwich works for me.
1977.
Real quick in the chat, we got Double S. He wanted to see a cat fight. Southern Comic Geek came in. Legion of Comics says, "What's up?" Double S. Typically Huey buys Catwoman for the articles. Laugh out loud. Southern Comic. Let's see. Double S says, "Granny Goodness could hook up with Spectacular Spider Grandpa Goodness." Oh, sexy time. Legion of Comics says, "I joined late. Did you guys already talk trash about the hot garbage that is Batman 105 yet?" Not yet. Oh, we're gonna get to that, son. We're gonna get to that.
We got Justice League versus Aquaman. Who read both those?
Me.
I read Justice League.
Okay. You want to talk about Justice League?
Yeah, I love this main story. This is awesome. This is what we talked about earlier, where Black Adam, like we get a little bit more of why that history exists between him and this Frost King character. And it's because Black Adam's a douchebag. Used the Frost King's family, his human family, use him as bait. And then when everybody else freaks out because he did that, they go to try to save him. And then like Frost King like kind of slows down for a second, realizes it's his family. We see a little tear in his eye. We see his heart grow like the Grinch who stole Christmas. And then that douchebag flies in and punches him in the chest, right? And then God knows what else because they cut off and moved back to the story. Then we get an avatar of the Frost King attacking the Hall of Justice, and that was all a ploy. So the Frost King can find this thing that was taken from him, and it was taken by Stag, basically the evil version of Star Labs, if you don't know. And come to find out, dun, 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 it's his family. They're frozen in ice, and he's not too happy about that. So this is good. This is good DC storytelling, and this is what we've been waiting for. But don't worry, Future State's coming.
I'm excited for Future State. I think it's going to be fun.
I'm excited for your excitement.
Skeet, skeet.
Skeet.
Mike, so
yeah, it's a stash for me as well. I also read Aquaman.
What did you think of Aquaman? What did you think of the Fish Whisperer?
This is actually pretty good. This is actually part 4, which takes place. It really doesn't matter. It takes place before Justice League. More origin stuff at the beginning of the Frost King. Atlantis is being overrun by all these frost demons, and basically Mera and Aquaman come up with this plan to go. There's actually like vents in Atlantis to heat it that go to the Earth's core and use these fire trolls that live down there, and they actually plan to go down there and recruit them, and which they do. So, like, who said that? Aquaman, he's about to bring the heat, Legion of Comics said, and at the end of this, he actually has an army of these fire demons or fire trolls. So it was pretty cool. It's a stash for me.
But we got 2 stashes on Justice League and only 1 stash on Aquaman. So is Justice League moving forward then for that group?
Hold on. I think Mike should be the deciding factor on that, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He read both.
Don't put this shit on me.
He's got to pick one or the other.
What's it going to be, Mike?
What's it going to be, Mike?
What's it going up against in the future?
Justice League versus Aquaman. It's going to be going up against Batman and Nightwing. Batman or Nightwing, one of the two.
I'm moving forward Aquaman just because Mira's hot.
No, that's a...
So lame.
Legion of Comics votes Aquaman too, so...
That's all right. Legion of Comics says he votes for Aquaman too. Real quick before we jump to the next one, we got a lot of people chatting tonight, which is good. We're happy that you guys are interacting with us. Legion of Comics says he read both books. Both were fun. Put aside the flashbacks. I felt more excited after reading Aquaman. He's about to bring the heat. Okay. Double S says Black Adam has always been a douchebag. Fair enough. I feel sorry for Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson playing him in the movie. I don't know. I think he's going to be more like The Rock from wrestling because he was a douchebag then too. And it was great. So I hope that's the case. I'm excited about some future state, mainly Superman, War of Worlds, as well as Dark Detective, and Legion of Comics voted for Aquaman. So you got some support there, buddy. Me, I'm not huge into the whole fish whispering thing.
Okay, Batman 105 this week. Oh, my goodness. The typical comic book trope of, hey, we're villains, we're going to fight. Oh, yay, we're friends now. We're going to move forward. That whole thing was... That whole relationship was horrible. I think of Step Brothers. Did we just become best friends? Yep. I think we did. There we go. So basically, that's it. So now,
do you want to go do karate in the garage?
Yep.
Yep.
So now he said, Ghostmaker was like, I'm going to criticize everything you do. We're going to be partners. He goes, oh, well, Alfred's not with me anymore, so you could be that role. What the fuck, dude? Come on, dude. You're better than this. You're better than this, Tinian. This is a blast for me. I hate blasting Batman books, but this is a blast. I'm sorry. Batman number 105. What a turd. Joe?
So, yeah, this whole... I'm going to make people kill your friends, and I'm going to kill, the things you care about. And psych, we're all friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was just bad. I did like the interaction between Clown Hunter and Harley Quinn. I thought it's not really based in anything but pseudo bullshit cognitive therapy, but regardless, it was bullshit. It was interesting at best. But I'll be honest, right? Like I was like, okay, let's pretend this issue didn't happen, and We got a new member of the Bat family because God knows we need some more people than that.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to have kind of like this buddy cop team because they did kind of have this whole buddy banter thing going on there at the end. And I was like, okay, all right, buddy cop team. We're going to add some humor into Batman. All right, cool. And then I read it and I was like, get more of this action in March after Future State. And I'm like, why even tell this story? Why did this even happen? Like, we're going to forget about it come March. I don't know what I had for breakfast. Are you freaking kidding me? I got to take notes for comic books that I read, and you want me to I'm totally going to have to get caught up. So we know what the first issue is going to be, I'm sure. Yeah, this was just a letdown. Like, I was so on with this. Okay, Ghostmaker, they're making fun of his name. A little bit of the history there that they read Condit. All right. But he seems pretty badass, and some really cool moral lessons are going to be learned about two different types of philosophy, right? I was really into that. And then it was like, nah, you're good, girl. Nah, you're good, girl. Oh, screw you, man. That was horrible. So, yeah, it's a blast for me.
What about you, Mike?
Yeah, this set, a Clown Hunter. Ghostmaker first appeared, he was pretty cool, and then it all went to shit. The only redeeming factor, like Joey said, is the Clown Killer Hunter stuff, who I still think is going to be a Robin, but
I think you're right.
Batman's going to be a blast.
Well, I don't know. He could very well, and not to throw a fork into your beliefs or anything, but he could take on, or I'm sorry, Ghostmaker could take him on, and he can kind of be like Ghostmaker's sidekick. Because that would make sense,
Little
right?
Ghost.
They disagree, right? They disagree, but they're both kind of like just a little.
Or it could be Harley Quinn's sidekick and stuck her.
Oh, I don't think he can handle that jelly, though. Mama get the jelly. Mama get the jelly.
What about Nightwing?
So Nightwing isn't any better. It's a feel-good Christmas story. Beginning, Batman is inviting Nightwing over for Christmas. Nightwing goes and investigates some corporation whose computer system was hacked because I think Batman is the last issue before the New Day or whatever. And then this Nightwing is the last issue before whatever the future state. So they just had to get away with a bullshit story here. Anyway, the hacker turns out to be someone posing as Santa Claus. This Santa Claus ends up being a female who's homeless. Bruce gives her a job. Fuck Christmas. Blast.
I knew you were going to say that.
Did you, Dave? Did you really know
I
was
did.
going to say fuck Christmas? Anyone who knows me, I hate the holidays. Retail has ruined the holidays for me, except for Halloween. Halloween's awesome because
of the retail.
So, Mike, what moves forward, Batman or Nightwing?
Batman.
Really?
Wow.
Because it's got at least the clown killers in that.
And it did have some cool action in it. I'll give it that. It did have some cool action. That's its only redeeming grace.
Jar Jar is cooler than Ghostmaker.
That's funny.
Okay, so what about we got Shit Show. I think Mike's the one who read Shit Show.
Yeah.
Shit Show.
Oh, we talked about it already.
Did we?
No, we talked about Batman. That was a shit show.
Yeah.
So, Shit Show is my co-pick of the week.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh. So it's the Age of Heroes. We're right at the beginning. We're introduced to a bunch of these heroes, and they're taking on this three-headed demon named Balam. Basically, it's just a dream by one of the heroes named Legend. He's drunk and passed out because Balam is the reason the world is on the verge of extinction. Only a couple of the heroes survived. This Macabre Mel. She's like a circus fortune teller now. She's not a superhero. And we have Legend, who's basically drunk, druggy. Those are the only two survived. But now, I cannot talk. Balam is back, and that's where the issue ends. So, yeah, definite stash. I love Shit Show.
Joe didn't read that. Joe's gone. Where'd Joe go?
More alcohol.
More alcohol. Let's talk about Solid Blood. So this one was I don't think it was solicited anywhere. It was just sent in. So this is Solid Blood number 17. According to, I think it's Kirkman, this is a book that issues 1 through 16 were in alternate world. So we have no clue to what's going on in this book. Even if you look at the letters in the back, it is people talk about, oh, I can't believe that happened. I can't wait for that person to jump in and do this. And like, what the fuck? We have no clue to what's going on. We have no clue to the backstory of any of this. So this was just like hey, let's just do this, an alternate world. And he even said there, oh, I tried to do a book called The Walking Dead. It didn't really do so good. And we all know that's not true because Walking Dead lasted 195 issues, I believe it was. So this is printed on newsprint. So this is kind of cool because it old school feel to the comic book. Michonne has a cameo in here as well. There she is right there getting her head stomped in by the necromonger. So the story starts out with this little girl talking about how she can see the future and she knows when everybody's going to die. And this guy sitting there watching is like, hey, I think maybe you can let me know. And she's like, I can't tell you that. You know that. And then her nose starts bleeding and then it jumps into the necromonger and he's fighting, looks like zombies and everything else. It looks like it might be tying in maybe with this crossover event that Cates is doing, maybe with all these different storylines coming in. Who knows? But overall, I thought this was a pretty good story. I thought it was pretty fun, even though we don't know a whole bunch about it. We don't know the history, the context, but it's got some pretty cool characters like the Reaver? And then we got
maybe they're just gonna release issues like they release Star Wars episodes.
Maybe. And this guy even says right here, says blast it. Although I think I'm gonna stash it. It's kind of a cool book. Like I said, not knowing a whole lot of the backstory, and maybe this is only one and done. Just kind of like a fun issue to do. Who knows? If you go to Key Issue Comics, it's going for like $18 on eBay. So if you get your hands on one, I guess if you want to flip it. But overall, I thought it was kind of fun, and I kind of want to know what's going on with this girl. She's able to control this new this blood. What do you call it? A blood monster. It's kind of cool. She can control that guy too. So overall, it's fun. It's a stash. What about you, Joe? What'd you think of Solid Blood?
Well, it wasn't her controlling it.
We don't know that. We don't know that.
So I have no frame of reference for this book. None. I've never read anything related to it. I don't know.
There's nothing related to it.
Well, I thought it was kind of like I don't even know anything about the particular characters in here. I know they're part of a larger story, right?
No.
But not in our universe, not in our dimension. In an alternate dimension, people know everything about it because that's 1 through 16 has already been released in an alternate dimension. We just happen to get issue 17.
Okay. So, yeah, this was great. Regardless. This was fun. And I said it on my own show, this reminded me of the way if you give a kid a bunch of random toys and then you're like, okay, play with the toys. And then you see the kid trying to figure out like these different characters and how they should interact, right? That's what this felt like to me because none of these characters seem relatable in any way whatsoever. We got a lady with a magical sword who's all done up like Judge Dredd. We got a guy with robotic legs. We got what seemingly looks like a normal little girl. And then up in space, we got a dude with razors in his arms, and apparently his partner's a female android robot thingy. It was ridiculously good. And somehow or another, they told a story with this random mixture of characters, and you had no idea what was going on. But it just kind of reminded me, if you pulled out a G.I. Joe, a He-Man, a Transformer, a Thundercat, and like they had the battle, right? So you separate them out, the ones that are probably going to be able to work better together, and you tell a story as a child. And that's what this reminded me of that. And I thought it was very ingeniously done. I thought they did a good job for just a bunch of randomness being thrown together. Like I thought I was missing out on something. Like there was something going on that I didn't know about. And it was awesome. I want some more of this.
So we got 2 stash for that. We got 2 stash for Shit Show because Double S said his Shit Show was his pick of the week for him too. So we need a deciding vote on that. So somebody in the chat, if you read either one of those books, let us know in the live
I'll
chat.
sustain, and you can just move Shit Show forward because I just like the name.
I can do that. Doesn't bring any legitimacy to the bracket, but sure. Oh, okay. So these are books I haven't read here: The Expanse, and Red Xmas, and that I think that both those are Mike. Yeah. So if you just want to do a quick rundown of either one, did you read either ones, Mike, Joe?
No.
So if you want to do a quick rundown of those and pick which one moves forward, Mike.
Also in the chat, let us know what you thought about these 2 books too. We're going to need some help with this one because you can't always believe Mike.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah, because my reviews suck. The Expanse. I stopped reading this. It was so confusing at first. Jumped around from Mars to the moon to go fuck yourself. Blast this book. Let's talk about something good. My other pick of the week. Red Xmas.
Really, a Christmas book's one of your picks of the week.
What I really like is when people make fun of Christmas. So, if you like foul-mouthed elves, if you like Santa getting a gummer from Mrs. Claus, that's a blowjob, Huey.
Thanks, Mike. I get so much education from the show.
An FBI agent and her son playing the well-known game Silence of the Lambs. Mrs. Claus getting trampled by reindeer. And child molestation by a mall Santa. This book is right up your alley. It was so fucking funny.
I don't think anybody likes Santa molesting children. I don't think that's something we should be putting out there, man.
Well, some kids need to, want a present really, really bad, and they do things. Co-pick of the week: Red Christmas.
Is it because of pedophilia, or
you just justified that feeling?
Pick it up, read it, bash Christmas like the rest of us.
I'm a mandatory reporter. I'm afraid I have to report myself if I read that book.
I'm not touching that damn book.
So the story behind the child molestation is the real Santa.
I don't need to know the story behind it. Really, I'm good.
Comes down the chimney, and the kid's like, "Did you bring me?" He wants his dad home for Christmas. And Santa's all drunk and pissed off because his wife got killed by the reindeer. Kid's like, "What the fuck? I sat on your lap and I let you do things to me." And he kicks him in the balls, and it's great.
Whew, man, he really want a Nerf gun bad. I guess you got to do some pretty disgusting things. Darth Vader versus Taskmaster. Please, Joe, take us to somewhere else.
Yeah, they're rolling. Wait, which one advances?
Mike only read both of them, and he chose Red Xmas. How much I hated copy and pasting that. I feel like I should report myself for even doing that.
We're going to jail. All right, so Taskmaster, issue 2. If you don't know, Taskmaster has to watch 3 other heads of organizations very closely. The first one being Phil Coulson. And Phil Coulson goes beep-bopping into a comic book store. And we're like, yeah, it's Phil Coulson. He's a comic book nerd. And he's in there buying up some comic books. And he's like, oh, by the way, how's my comic book doing? The Squadron Supreme. Because, he's got a superhero team in DC now. And I paused. And I was like, I bet you a lot of modern-day writers probably went into a comic book store for the first time in their life just to see how their comic book is selling. I'm talking to you, Coates. So in this issue, he makes that Taskmaster is in the group there and he's watching them or whatever, and he calls Hyperion. You may be wondering, who's Hyperion? It's Superman. It's Superman in the Marvel Universe.
Mm-hmm.
Argue it if you want, but in this issue, the only thing that can take him down is a little tiny rock that is green and gives off radiation. I'll wait for your argument to tell me it's not Superman. So Taskmaster allows Hyperion to basically whip up on him with his super strength and everything, pretty much crushing him so he can pull off one shot. So because, he wanted Hyperion to underestimate him. No offense, Slick, but when a superpower being goes up against a regular human being, he's already underestimating you. You didn't need every bone in your body broken. Sorry. I did like the banter in here between Taskmaster and Nick Fury. It's like a bunch of old friends. So good of friends that most of their speech is nothing more than insults to one another. It was actually good. So for the most part, this was picked up because I like Taskmaster and I really wanted to see how bad this writer would actually portray them. and yeah, they're doing it that poorly. So this is a drop at any given moment. I just need something to take its place. Blast.
What about Darth Vader, Mike?
Darth Vader, awesome as always. This was a slower issue compared to the previous ones. We get Darth Vader, who's, beaten and battered, making his way through the Webbish Bog, searching for the Webbish Bog. Your 80-year-old neighbor who's living alone and has 16 cats. She has a Webbish Bog.
We go from, oh my goodness.
I don't even know where to go with that.
He's looking for the true ways of the Sith. If you're not reading the Marvel Star Wars stuff, please do. If you're any type of Star Wars fan, it's so good. And he's still being pursued by Ochi, which is the Sith assassin. So it's a stash. Go watch Mandalorian.
Okay, so sounds like maybe Darth Vader's moving forward in that group.
I'll go ahead. I didn't read it, but I'll say yeah.
Just for Webbish Bog.
Just for Webbish Bog. We have a high. We take these brackets very seriously.
Very seriously. Super uber serious.
When words like Webbish Bog are able to make a book advance, that it's serious reviews here.
Well, Taskmaster doesn't have a Webbish Bog. He's not even female.
No, yeah. Well, you don't know.
I don't know. You may want to read this story because he's acting like a. Anyway.
Okay. I wanted to talk about these books real quick because I threw it out on Instagram and I might put it on our Facebook group as well. I was at Walmart the other day. Our Walmart never carries comic books. I always try to find the 3-packs. They never carry them. So when I found these, I was pretty like, well, cool. They actually have comic books. And it's by Allegiance. That's the publisher. They had 3 books there. They had Nora's Saga. They had Bass Reeves. And the Crimson Cock. Or, I'm sorry, Red Rooster.
Red
Rocket, baby. These were kind of tropey. Your basic comic book things. This guy's basically Captain America. It's post-World War II. Him and his buddy, they're all American. His enemy is trying. He's actually promoting his cola. He does these commercials for cola. So his enemy decides, hey, we just don't need to beat him. We need to destroy him completely. His image, everything. overall, it was kind of a fun book, but not my pick of the three. Nora's Saga. This is actually my pick of the three. Very comic book tropey. Her mom is she works at a museum. She has this Vikings exhibit, and she's setting it up. The night they're coming home from the exhibit, they end up getting in a car crash. Her mother dies. Of course, her dad moves them to another city because he's got a job, and now she's an outcast at school. She doesn't fit in with the pretty girls. They make fun of her. And she wants to go get a dress to be able to fit in with the pretty girls, kind of show off, saying, hey, I can be a pretty girl too. They end up getting into another car wreck. The truck ends up going into a frozen lake. They recover the dad. He saved his life. They can't find her body anywhere. She's transported back in time to Vikings time, where they pull her out of the water back then. So now she's this modern kid in Viking time with some history of Viking mythology and stuff like that she has in her head. So this is actually my pick of the three.
She's getting ready to kill some Christians.
Was that in a 3-pack or is that a?
No, these were individual. $5 a piece. That's
the way to talk to the manager at Walmart and be like, "Hey, Slick, you need to step up your game."
And this one actually is based on a real person. The first African American. He was a bounty hunter at first, but he became a lawman. So it's kind of his story. There's a whole bunch of mythology behind him, where he's 7 feet tall. That's what all these criminals think of this person. It was interesting, the part when he doesn't want to become a lawman because he already spends too much time away from his family. But they end up robbing a bank or something in town and threaten essentially him and his son's life. So he decides, I'm going to make a difference. I'm going to become a lawman. And so that's what he does at the end of this book. Overall, all three of them were really good. But Nora's Saga is probably my pick of the three. So I'm not going to add those into the bracket at all. So, but just go check those out. Definitely. But $5 a pop though. And they had a big old sticker up here in the top corner. It said Walmart, $4.99.
I think that's the reason I didn't get them that one time.
I hate to tell you this, but your average Marvel comic book's the exact same price.
I got that. I understand that. And really, if you're paying indie books, you're going to pay more too. Some local. I paid $8 for a local comic book creator. I get that. Yeah, I took the stickers off of these. This one turned out really good. The Red Rooster, it came off really easy. The only problem with pulling a sticker off there, like this one here, I pulled it off. There's still a little bit of residue and a white cover. Oh God, any kind of dirt's going to get stuck on there now, and I don't know how to get it off. Millions. But I would pick up issue 2. They have issue 2 there in the store, so I'll probably pick up that one for sure.
Sticker on there.
I should have left it on there. Okay, so let's jump back into the bracket. Let's move them up. Let's get this shit show on the road here.
Be arguing. Join us in the chat. Let's all argue and still be friends because we're adults.
We Live versus death metal. I think all of us like death metal.
I like death metal.
I concur.
We Live is good, but I think it's gonna move up here. Symbiote Spider-Man versus Immortal Hulk. Oh, that's kind of a tough one there. What'd you think? I guess it's going to be Joe because you read both those. What'd you think?
Symbiote Spider-Man on that one.
Click. Come on. Symbiote Spider-Man. Black Cat will move forward just because she didn't have a competitor right now. Not that I want her to. Paste. You son of a... What'd I do? Oh, no, Mr. Bill.
Nothing but the best for our viewers out there. Highly skilled, trained even YouTubers.
Trained. Now moving over here. Aquaman versus Batman.
Go back. What about Once and Future and Kick-Ass?
Oh, did I miss those?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Then okay, so we never had anybody give us a choice on that because it was Mike read Kick-Ass and Joe read Once and Future.
It's not going to matter in the next few categories. Give it to Kick-Ass.
Probably not either. We could probably even figure out who's going to be the winner here. So between Black Cat and Kick-Ass, I think
Black
you guys
Cat.
both like Black Cat. So I could have kept it up there anyhow without even.
Yes, but
Symbiote Spider-Man, Black Cat. Is that the only two? Nope. We got
I'm voting Black Cat.
between Symbiote Spider-Man and Black Cat.
I'm voting Black Cat.
Joe, what about you?
I got to go with Symbiote.
What if we went the other direction? Death Metal versus Symbiote.
Death Metal.
I think that's probably going to end up taking this side anyhow, don't you think? Was that going to be over Symbiote and Black Cat?
Influencing a bracket, sir.
What's that?
That would be
What's on top of
influencing a
Death Metal?
bracket.
Okay, between these three, Death Metal, Spidey, or Black Cat?
What's going against Death Metal? Nothing.
Nothing. That's what I'm saying. If we go between these three, Black Cat, Symbiote Spider-Man, or Death Metal?
Yeah,
Black Cat.
I'm going to go with Death Metal on that one. Sorry, Mike.
I quit.
You quit. Aquaman versus Batman.
Aquaman.
Joe?
Yeah, whatever Mike said. I don't even want to vote there because I don't read Aquaman and on the Batman.
Shit Show versus Christmas.
We'll go with the less molested of the two. Shit Show.
Okay, thank you, Mike. I appreciate you not letting me have to copy then paste that. So I'm gonna move Nora's Saga up, but I mean it's probably not gonna make a difference. Just so we have it even here.
We need to find a way to break these ties.
I know.
We can always just flip a coin. It doesn't matter. It's flippism at its finest.
Okay, between I think I already know who's going to be winning this. I'm just going to move Darth Vader up for you there, Mike. Between Aquaman, Shit Show, or Darth Vader?
Shit Show.
And you only read all three of those books anyhow. And then we got Shit Show versus Death Metal.
Shit Show.
Death Metal.
I'm gonna go with Death Metal too.
Yeah,
so
suck.
Death Metal is the winner.
Death Metal. It's Death Metal. Like, you're all about the Death Metal, man. I thought you'd be on board with that. But I do love me a good Shit Show, so I don't know.
Y'all need to read Shit Show and Red Christmas.
I'm not reading Red Christmas. I'm sure you're probably on a list, and I'm probably already guilty by association. The other thing I wanted to talk about real quick, so the host of mine, he gave me a whole bunch of books. He gave me this. This is from 1945. It's not a comic book, but it's called 1,000 Jokes. It has a cool Bob Hope cover on there. Thought that was kind of cool. And then my son ended up leaving back to the Army. Yes, this morning we dropped him off this morning, and got some crackling in my mic. He got me this for Christmas. He opened his present from us. We opened our presents from him, and he ended up getting me Marvelosity, Alex Ross book, all Alex Ross art. So that's kind of really cool. So that's all I got this week. Anything else before we bounce out of here?
Yeah. I got this from Target today.
You got the Bumblebee?
Bumblebee.
It was sitting behind the counter in the electronics department, so I waited for no one to be around, and I snatched it. Of course, I paid.
You rotten bastard!
Of course, I paid for it. Well, what are they doing holding it behind the counter?
Some employee maybe was going to buy it. Now they're going, "What the fuck happened to my?"
You snooze, you lose. You should have paid for it and put it in your car.
Maybe they did pay for it.
Maybe they
not
did.
anymore.
I didn't see no receipt. But this is really hard to find. So,
how much is it going for, Mike? What's it worth?
Oh, I don't know. I paid $9 for it. Whatever Funkos are at Target.
I'll look it up while Joe talks about something else.
I had to resort to eBay for my metalhead.
Nice.
But I paid $20 for that. So.
What do you got there, Joe?
The only extra thing I got is I picked up Rorschach. This is issue, I think, number 3. Yeah, number 3. If you're not following this can be a very weird review, but apparently an older Rorschach, we find he was a comic book artist and writer, and then we get we got his back history in issue 2. In issue 3, we get the young lady that was with him that tried to kill the president. Come to find out she's from a very jacked up family, and I mean that professionally. Like this whole story takes place shortly after the squid attacked Earth in Watchmen. And apparently some people out in a rural area decided that they needed to create a militia because the president was too weak to fight these kind of things, and that they were going to be the standing army. And Daddy decided to train his 8-year-old daughter on how shooting and military tactics, because that's what he did in the military, and kind of jacked her mind up with thinking that squids are excuse me, attack again. We find out that Dad killed Mom in this as well. I don't know what's going on. I am sorry. Dad killed Mom because the squids took her mind over, and then he read a comic book and couldn't decide if the bad guy was a bad guy or a good guy. So he asked his daughter, dang God, always comes in threes, to kill him. And without hesitation, she does, which is even creepier. So this is a creepy book, so I'll keep picking this up. Definitely. Oh, Lordy. Good stuff. Okay? I don't know what's going on. Like, I think it's allergies, but it's winter, so I shouldn't have allergies right now.
Allergies.
I got the Rona. So all that. Other than that, thank you everybody for coming into our chat tonight and joining. I think this is the most active we've had in a while in the chat. It has been really great. I know I've been enjoying it. So I'm going to treat you all to something really, really cool. I'm going to drop a link in the chat for you after the show. Definitely check it out. It's a Christmas miracle.
Oh, okay. I'll check that out. Mike, what do you got?
Those of you who know, if you don't worry about it. What the hell? Where'd Dave go?
No, he
Did I do something?
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry.
Anyway, my grandson had heart surgery the other day. He did extremely well, was out of the hospital in 2 or 3 days. He's doing well, so that's all I got. Got a nice little scar under his left arm where they went in. And what do you... Nicholas? No? Uh-oh.
What'd you do?
Hold.
All right, we'll wait for you. Go take care of business. We got you.
No, just end the show.
Okay. Whether you Blastin with a Stashin, happy reading, and we will not catch you next week because next week will be Christmas Day, so we're not going to be doing a live show that night.
What? No. I'm picking up comic books. I'm ready to talk about it.
I may pick up comic books, but I'm not going to be doing a live show. I'll be busy with family and stuff that night.
They don't like you that much, man.
Oh, well. I pretend they like me that much. So we'll catch you guys after the holiday. Hope everything is good for you. And Merry Christmas. And we'll catch you the week after that. Is the week.
Oh, and Happy Hanukkah too. To the rest of us.
No. All right, we'll catch you guys. Isn't the week after that? Isn't that New Year's too?
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be kind of. We'll we'll figure something out. Hey guys, like and subscribe. That way, if we do something in the next 2 weeks, you'll be the first to know.
Yeah. Hit that follow button too. So check us out on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. You can follow us there too. We kind of give updates on what's going on. Yeah, maybe we might do our stashies that New Year's Day, maybe, or something. We'll figure that out. Maybe that might be a separate show altogether. Well, you'll find out though soon. So make sure you follow us. Whether you blast it with a stash, happy reading. We'll catch you next time.
Bye.